the shocking scene that silenced Hollywood's first black star. The death of Dorothy Dandridge remains one of Hollywood's most disturbing unsolved mysteries. From the position of her body to the contents of her last meal, every detail of the scene raises more questions than answers. Can you piece together what really happened on that September day, 1965? On September 8, 1965, the glittering facade of Hollywood crumbled as news of Dorothy Dandridge's death spread. Her body was found in her West Hollywood apartment, a stark contrast to the glamorous roles she once played. Dandridge, the first African-American woman nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress, had seemingly met a tragic end. The scene was puzzling from the start. Her apartment, once a symbol of her success, now held secrets that investigators struggled to unravel. As the sun set on Sunset Boulevard, rumors began to swirl. What led to the demise of this groundbreaking star? Was it an accident, or something more sinister? In the coming minutes, we'll explore Dandridge's life, her meteoric rise to fame, and the events that led to her untimely death. The mystery of Dorothy Dandridge's final moments continues to captivate audiences to this day. Dorothy Dandridge's journey to stardom began far from the glitz of Hollywood in Cleveland, Ohio, 1920. Born into a family already steeped in the world of entertainment, her path seemed almost predestined from the start. Her mother Ruby was an aspiring actress, and her father Cyril a cabinet maker, a minister, who left the family when Dorothy was young. Ruby's ambition and determination would shape young Dorothy's early years, setting the stage for a career that would break barriers and captivate audiences. As a child, Dorothy, along with her sister Vivian, began performing under their mother's guidance. The girls' natural talent, combined with Ruby's relentless drive, propelled them into the spotlight. At an early age in the 1930s, Dorothy and Vivian joined forces with their friend Etta Jones to form the Dandridge Sisters, a singing and dancing act that would serve as Dorothy's first real taste of show business. As Dorothy's star began to rise, she set her sights on Hollywood. In the early 1940s, she made her film debut with small roles in a series of movies. These early appearances, while brief, hinted at the screen presence that would later captivate audiences and critics alike. However, the road to stardom was far from smooth for a young African-American woman in the 1940s and 1950s. Despite the challenges, Dorothy persevered, honing her craft and building her reputation in both film and nightclub performances. Her breakthrough finally came in 1954 with the film Carmen Jones, a modern retelling of Bizet's opera Carmen. With an all-black cast, Dorothy's portrayal of the fiery and seductive Carmen was a revelation. Her performance exuded a raw sensuality and emotional depth that left audiences and critics spellbound. The impact of Carmen Jones cannot be overstated. It catapulted Dorothy to a new level of fame and recognition. More importantly, it earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, the first for an African-American woman in the leading category. This historic nomination was a watershed moment, not just for Dorothy, but for the entire film industry. It challenged long-held assumptions about race and representation in Hollywood and opened doors for future generations of black actors. However, the glow of this groundbreaking success was tempered by the harsh realities of 1950s America. While Dorothy had achieved a level of fame and recognition unprecedented for a black actress, she still faced significant barriers and limitations. The roles available to her remained scarce and often stereotypical, despite her undeniable talent and beauty. As Dorothy navigated the complex landscape of Hollywood in the wake of her Oscar nomination, the challenges that lay ahead began to take shape. The industry's deeply ingrained racial biases, the personal struggles that would come to define her later years, and the relentless pressure of being a trailblazer in a resistant system all loomed on the horizon. Dorothy Dandridge's Oscar nomination for Carmen Jones in 1954 should have been a turning point in her career, a moment that opened doors and created new opportunities. Instead, it marked the beginning of a challenging period in both her professional and personal life. The film industry of the 1950s was not ready to fully embrace an African-American leading lady. Despite her undeniable talent and beauty, Dandridge found herself struggling against a system that seemed determined to limit her potential. The roles offered to Dandridge in the wake of her historic nomination were few and far between. When they did come, they often fell into narrow stereotypes that failed to showcase her full range as an actress. The industry's reluctance to cast her in substantial roles meant that Dandridge's career began to stagnate just when it should have been flourishing. This professional disappointment took a toll on her emotional well-being. She grappled with the frustration of being held back by societal prejudices, while her career faced obstacles. Dandridge's personal life was equally tumultuous. Her marriage to Harold Nicholas, a dancer and entertainer, was marked by difficulties that deeply affected her emotional state. The relationship, which had begun with promise, quickly deteriorated, leaving Dandridge feeling isolated and unsupported. Nicholas's infidelities and absences created a rift between them that seemed insurmountable. In the midst of this marital strife, Dandridge gave birth to her daughter Harolyn in 1943. The joy of motherhood, however, was soon overshadowed by concern as it became apparent that Harolyn had been born with severe brain damage. The realization that her daughter would require lifelong care and would never lead a normal life devastated Dandridge. She found herself grappling with feelings of guilt and inadequacy, questioning whether she had somehow contributed to her daughter's condition. Dandridge's sister Vivian later reflected on the impact of Harolyn's condition on Dorothy, saying she never really got over the fact that her child was born brain damaged. It was a very traumatic thing for her, and I don't think she ever recovered from that. This statement offers a glimpse into the deep emotional scars left by Dandridge's struggles with motherhood and the weight of responsibility she carried. As Dandridge navigated the challenges of her career and personal life, she found herself increasingly isolated in Hollywood. The pressure of being a trailblazer in an industry resistant to change took its toll. She struggled with her identity, caught between the expectations placed upon her as a groundbreaking African-American actress and her own desires and ambitions. This internal conflict manifested in various ways, affecting her relationships, her career choices, and ultimately her sense of self-worth. The lack of substantial roles and the typecasting she faced led Dandridge to question her place in Hollywood. She found herself torn between accepting roles that perpetuated stereotypes and potentially facing unemployment. Her financial situation began to deteriorate as she turned down roles that she felt were beneath her talents, yet the industry offered few alternatives. This catch-22 situation added to her growing sense of frustration and disillusionment. Dandridge's struggle with identity extended beyond her professional life. As an African-American woman in 1950s America, she faced discrimination and prejudice in her daily life. Despite her fame and success, she was often denied access to the same privileges and opportunities afforded to her white counterparts. This constant reminder of her otherness in a society that claimed to celebrate her talent but still held her at arm's length contributed to her feelings of isolation and internal conflict. As the 1950s drew to a close, Dandridge found herself at a crossroads. Her career was faltering, her personal life was in turmoil, and the emotional toll of her struggles was becoming increasingly apparent. The promise and potential that had seemed so bright at the beginning of the decade had dimmed, leaving Dandridge grappling with uncertainty and doubt about her future. As the 1960s dawned, Dorothy Dandridge's career, which once burned so brightly, began to flicker and fade. The promise of her groundbreaking Oscar nomination a distant memory, as opportunities for African-American actresses remained scarce. Hollywood's systemic racism cast a long shadow over Dandridge's prospects. Despite her undeniable talent and star power, she found herself struggling to secure meaningful roles that could showcase her abilities. The industry's reluctance to cast black actresses in leading roles, particularly opposite white male leads, severely limited Dandridge's options. She was often relegated to stereotypical parts or passed over entirely for roles that could have revitalized her career. This lack of opportunity took a heavy toll on Dandridge's professional aspirations and financial stability. As the decade progressed, her income dwindled, forcing her to confront mounting debts and financial insecurity. Dandridge's financial difficulties began to spiral out of control. She found herself unable to maintain the lifestyle to which she had become accustomed. The pressure of unpaid bills and dwindling resources weighed heavily on her mind, contributing to a deteriorating mental state. The stark contrast between her earlier success and her current struggles only served to deepen her sense of despair and isolation. In a desperate attempt to revive her career and stabilize her finances, Dandridge made a series of decisions that would ultimately prove detrimental. She accepted roles in low-budget European films, hoping they might lead to a career resurgence. But these projects failed to generate the buzz or critical acclaim she sought. Instead, they further distanced her from the Hollywood spotlight and exacerbated her financial woes. Amidst these professional setbacks, Dandridge's personal life was equally tumultuous. In 1959, she married Jack Dennison, a restaurant owner who promised stability and support. However, their relationship quickly soured. Denison's business ventures failed, leaving the couple deeply in debt. Dandridge found herself not only supporting herself, but also shouldering the burden of her husband's financial missteps. The strain of their financial troubles took a toll on their marriage. Denison's behavior became increasingly erratic and abusive, leaving Dandridge feeling trapped and vulnerable. She had invested not only her heart, but also her dwindling resources into the relationship. It crumbled around her. Dandridge's sense of isolation and despair deepened. Dandridge's struggles were not solely a reflection of her personal choices, but also a stark indication of the broader issues of race and gender that plagued America in the 1960s. Despite the civil rights movement gaining momentum, the entertainment industry remained resistant to change. The limited roles available to African American actresses often reinforced harmful stereotypes rather than challenging them. Dandridge found herself caught between her desire to work and her reluctance to perpetuate these damaging portrayals. The industry's treatment of Dandridge served as a painful reminder of the systemic barriers faced by black performers, even those who had achieved significant recognition. Her decline from Oscar-nominated actress to struggling performer unable to secure meaningful work highlighted the persistent inequalities in Hollywood and American society at large. As Dandridge's career and personal life continued to unravel, she found herself grappling with depression and anxiety. The weight of her financial troubles, her failed marriage, and the seeming impossibility of reclaiming her former glory took a heavy toll on her mental health. She began to withdraw from public life, her once vibrant presence dimming. She retreated into isolation. The stark contrast between Dandridge's earlier success and her current struggles created a narrative of unfulfilled potential and thwarted ambition that resonated beyond her individual story. Her experiences served as a powerful indictment of an industry and a society that failed to nurture and support black talent, even when it had proven itself worthy of acclaim. As the 1960s progressed, Dandridge's situation grew increasingly desperate. Her attempts to revive her career with indifference or outright rejection. The roles she was offered often felt like a step backwards, reinforcing the very stereotypes she had once hoped to shatter. The financial pressures mounted, as did her sense of hopelessness in the face of an industry that seemed to have forgotten her contributions. On September 8, 1965, the world of Hollywood was shaken to its core as news spread of Dorothy Dandridge's untimely death. The iconic actress was found lifeless in her West Hollywood apartment. A tragic end to a life that had once shone so brightly. The scene that greeted investigators was both perplexing and heartbreaking. Dandridge's body was discovered in her bathroom, her final moments shrouded in mystery. The apartment, once a symbol of Dandridge's success, now stood as a silent witness to her tragic demise. Investigators combed through the space seeking clues that might shed light on the circumstances surrounding her death. The contrast between the glamorous roles Dandridge had played on screen and the stark reality of her final moments was a poignant reminder of the struggles she had faced in her later years. As details emerged, questions began to surface. The official cause of death was ruled as an accidental overdose of the antidepressant imipramine. However, this explanation did little to quell the speculation and theories that quickly began to circulate. The dosage found in her system was reportedly 3 times the lethal amount, raising eyebrows and fueling doubts about the accidental nature of her passing. The discovery of Dandridge's body sent shockwaves through Hollywood and the African American community. Her death marked the loss of a trailblazer, a woman who had broken barriers and paved the way for a future generations of black actresses. The impact of her passing was felt deeply by those who had admired her talent and resilience in the face of a prejudiced industry. In the aftermath of Dandridge's death, theories and speculations proliferated. Some questioned whether the overdose was truly accidental, pointing to the pressures and disappointments Dandridge had faced in her career and personal life. Others wondered if there might be more sinister forces at play, hinting at foul play or cover-ups. These theories, while largely unsubstantiated, spoke to the complexity of Dandridge's life and the profound impact she had made on those who knew her. One prevailing theory suggested that Dandridge's death was the result of suicide rather than an accident. Proponents of this idea pointed to her ongoing struggles with depression, her financial difficulties, and the challenges she faced as a black actress in a predominantly white industry. They argued that the pressures of Hollywood and the constant battle against racial prejudice had finally taken their toll, pushing Dandridge to a tragic breaking point. Another theory that gained traction in the years following her death centered on the possibility of foul play. Some speculated that Dandridge's connections to powerful figures in Hollywood and her knowledge of industry secrets may have made her a target. Those who subscribe to this theory questioned the thoroughness of the initial investigation and called for a deeper examination of the circumstances surrounding her death. The unanswered questions surrounding Dandridge's passing continue to haunt her legacy to this day. The lack of clarity about her final moments has led to ongoing speculation and debate among fans, historians, and conspiracy theorists alike. The mystery of what truly happened in that West Hollywood apartment on that fateful September day remains unsolved, leaving a cloud of uncertainty over the memory of one of Hollywood's brightest stars. Perhaps one of the most persistent questions centers on Dandridge's state of mind in the days leading up to her death. Friends and acquaintances reported conflicting accounts of her mood and behavior. Some described her as upbeat and optimistic, making plans for the future, while others noted signs of despair and resignation. This discrepancy has fueled further speculation about the nature of her death and the events that may have precipitated it. The circumstances surrounding the discovery of Dandridge's body have also been subject to scrutiny. Reports indicate that her manager Earl Mills found her after becoming concerned when she failed to answer his calls. However, the exact timeline of events and the details of what Mills encountered upon entering the apartment remain somewhat unclear. This lack of precise information has led some to question the official narrative and speculate about what might have been overlooked or misinterpreted in the initial investigation. Dorothy Dandridge's tragic death in 1965 could have marked the end of her story, but fate had other plans. In 1972, the release of Lady Sings the Blues starring Diana Ross as Billie Holiday ignited interest in the lives of African American performers from the mid-20th century. While the film focused on Holiday's life, it sparked a renewed fascination with the era's black entertainers, including Dandridge. Viewers and critics alike began to draw parallels between the struggles faced by Holiday and those encountered by Dandridge in her career. This renewed interest in Dandridge's life and career opened the floodgates for a re-examination of her legacy in the years that followed. Biographies, documentaries, and even a made-for-television movie starring Halle Berry brought Dandridge's story to new generations. Her triumphs and tribulations resonated with modern audiences, providing a poignant reminder of the progress made and the challenges still faced by black performers in Hollywood. As scholars and film historians delve deeper into Dandridge's life and work, her significance as a pioneering black actress became increasingly apparent. Her Oscar nomination for Carmen Jones in 1954 was not just a personal achievement, but a watershed moment for African American representation in cinema. Dandridge's ability to captivate audiences and critics alike in an era of pervasive racial prejudice paved the way for future generations of black actresses. Dandridge's enduring legacy extends beyond her on-screen performances. Her life story has become a powerful symbol of the struggles faced by black women in the entertainment industry, the barriers she confronted, the stereotypes she challenged, and the price she paid for her ambition continue to resonate with contemporary discussions about race and gender in Hollywood. Her experiences offer a historical context for ongoing debates about representation, diversity, and inclusion in the film industry. In recent years, Dandridge's story has found new relevance amidst the #MeToo and Black Lives Matter movements. Her battles against sexual harassment, racial discrimination, and systemic inequality in Hollywood echo the experiences of many contemporary actresses, particularly women of color. The parallels between Dandridge's struggles and those faced by modern performers serve as a stark reminder of how much progress has been made and how much work still remains to be done. Dandridge's impact on popular culture extends beyond the realm of film. Her influence can be seen in the work of contemporary artists, musicians, and activists who draw inspiration from her resilience and groundbreaking achievements. Many modern black actresses cite Dandridge as a role model and a source of inspiration, acknowledging the doors she opened and the barriers she broke down. Her legacy serves as a reminder of the power of representation and the importance of visibility from marginalized communities in the entertainment industry. The re-examination of Dandridge's life and career has also led to a re-evaluation of her talents as a performer. While she was often typecast or limited by the roles available to black actresses in her time, certain critics have come to appreciate the depth and nuance of her performances, her ability to convey complex emotions, and her undeniable screen presence have earned her a place among the great actresses of Hollywood's golden age, regardless of race. As interest in Dandridge's story has grown, so too has curiosity about the circumstances surrounding her death. The mysterious nature of her passing continues to fuel speculation and debate among fans, and researchers alike. The unanswered questions about her final moments have become an integral part of her legacy, adding an element of intrigue to her already compelling life story. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysterious case of Dorothy Dandridge, please like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories.